Hi everyone! In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to crochet this really cute chubby ghost. This is a really simple project that's great for beginners, and it's also completely no-sew, which is really awesome if you hate sewing. So let's jump right into the materials. The materials that you'll need are one skein of super bulky chenille yarn. I'm using Baby Snuggle by Hobbii. And along with that, I'm also using a 3.75mm hook. You'll also need some fiberfill stuffing to stuff your ghost, and you'll need a little bit of black embroidery thread and an embroidery needle to embroider the mouth later on. And lastly, we also will need one pair of 6mm safety eyes. I'm also going to be using a stitch marker to help me keep track of stitches. Alright, now let's get started with the tutorial. For the first round, we're going to make a magic ring, and then we're going to work 6 single crochet stitches into the magic ring. As always with chenille yarn, it's really important to make your initial magic ring extremely small, about the size of a dime, and then as you work stitches into the magic ring, it's important to continue tugging on the tail over here so that your magic ring closes as you go. So I'm going to work 1, 2, 3, and then I'll close the magic ring, and then 4, 5, and 6. Now insert your stitch marker into the last stitch in the round so that you can keep track of where the last stitch is. For the next round, we'll work an increase into every stitch, so we'll work 2 stitches into every single crochet stitch. So that's the first increase. And the second increase, and so on. When we get to the last stitch, we'll just remove the stitch marker and then work our very last increase. For round 3, we'll work 1 single crochet and then an increase all around for a total of 18 stitches. So that's my first stitch, and then the next stitch will be an increase. And then I'll repeat that all around. For round 4, we'll work 2 single crochets and then an increase, and we'll do that all around for a total of 24 stitches. So that's the first repeat, and then we'll do that all around again. For the next round, we'll work 3 single crochets and then an increase for a total of 30 stitches all around. And at this point, it's a good time to flip your work inside out so that the tail is on the inside of your bowl shape that you're making. For more information on the right side and wrong side of amigurumi, you can watch this video over here. And now we'll go on to the next round, which is again 3 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, 3, and then the increase. And then we'll just work that all around. Our next round is going to be 4 single crochets and then an increase for a total of 30 stitches all around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase. And we'll do that all around for a total of 36 stitches. And now we're coming up to our last round of increases for now. So we're gonna do 5 single crochets and then an increase for a total of 42 stitches. So I'll work 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches, and then my increase. Alright, so for rounds 8 through 13, we'll just be single crocheting all around. So that's a total of 6 rounds, and every round is going to be 42 stitches total. So we'll just work 1 stitch into every single crochet stitch all around, and I'll meet you back there when I'm done. So I've just finished the 6 rounds of working into every stitch all around. And so now we're going to work on round 14, which is to work into every stitch all around, but in the back loop only. So the back loop is the loop that's facing away from you. So every stitch has both the front loop and a back loop. And for this round, we're just going to work into the back loop only. So what that means is, if you can see like the small V over here, which is the front loop and the back loop, I'm only going to insert my hook into the back loop and just catch it like that. So for the next stitch, we're also going to only work into the back loop. So you just insert your hook between the 2 legs of the V, and then you pull up the loop and work your single crochet. So this just creates a little line over here from the remaining front loops that are left unworked, and we're going to work into those later when we create the little shell stitch border. So I'm just going to keep working into every single stitch in the back loop only, all around. So after the back loop only round, we're going to work on round 15, which is going to be 5 single crochets and then a decrease for a total of 36 stitches. So So I'll work 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches, and then I'll work a decrease. So to work the decrease, I'll just insert my hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then insert my hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop for a total of 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's 1 decrease, and I'll just work that repeat of 5 single crochets and then a decrease all around. For the next round, we're going to work 4 single crochets and then a decrease for a total of 30 stitches. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our decrease. And I'll continue working that pattern all around. After round 14 is over, now is a good time to insert your 6mm safety eyes into your ghost. So I inserted mine between rounds 8 and 9, so you can just count from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then so between these 2 rounds, I'm just going to pick one side to be the front and insert my safety eyes between any 2 stitches between rounds 8 and 9. So I'm leaving a gap of about 4 stitches between the 2 eyes, so 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. And also, if you have the plastic backings, put the plastic backings on the back of the safety eyes. So in the meantime, let's continue on with round 17. So we'll work 3 single crochets and then a decrease, and that'll give us a total of 24 stitches. So for round 17, we'll work 3 single crochets and a decrease 6 times for a total of 24 stitches. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and then the decrease. And then we'll repeat that all around to get 24 stitches. And then for round 18, we'll do 2 single crochets and then a decrease for a total of 18 stitches. Alright, so now that there are only 18 stitches left in our round, it's a good time to start stuffing. So grab your fiberfill stuffing and stuff it all the way to the top, really firmly. So I've just finished stuffing, and as you can see, it's stuffed really firmly, so even when I squish the ghost a little bit, it still bounces right back, and that's what you want to see. So for the last few rounds, we'll just be doing some more decreases to finish this off. So our next round, for round 19, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet and a decrease for a total of 12 stitches. Alright, so now we're at the last round, round 20, and for round 20 we're going to decrease into every single stitch so that we'll only have 6 stitches left. After that we'll finish off and then we'll work on the shell stitch border to create the little skirt, and we'll also work on creating the arms. Alright, so I've just finished the last round and I'm just going to cut a length of yarn of about 10 inches. And then I'll gently tug the tail through so that we finish off the project. And now to close up the hole, I'm going to lay the tail across the opening and I'm going to insert my hook anywhere near the opening and come out on the other side of where the tail is anchored to the work. So then I'll just hook up the tail and pull it all the way through and give it a gentle tug to really close the opening. And then I'll just gently weave in this tail by inserting my hook somewhere else, coming up and pulling it through. And after doing that once or twice, I'll just cut the yarn right where it comes out. And if you can still see the tail poking through, I'll just push it back in with the tip of my crochet hook. Awesome, so the body of the ghost is now done, and our next step is going to be working into the remaining loops over here from our back loop only round to create a little skirt that goes around. Now we're going to get started on the ruffle bottom. For this step, we'll just need your white yarn as usual and your hook. So we're going to pick up stitches along the back loop only round of our ghost body. So you should see a small round of horizontal bars right here going all around, and these are just like loops that we can work into directly that we'll work into to create our ruffle border. So pick any place on your ghost. I'm going to pick somewhere in the back and insert your hook into one of the horizontal bars and just pull up a loop. After you pull up a loop, I'm just going to work one chain to anchor it, and this is how we pick up a stitch. So now we're going to work shell stitches all around. To work a shell stitch, attach your yarn and then skip the next 2 stitches. So for me, the next 2 stitches are going to be this one and this one. So we'll work into this stitch next. Yarn over and work a double crochet into the 3rd stitch from your hook. Finish the double crochet and then work 4 more double crochets into that same stitch. So this is 2, and then 3, 4, and a total of 5. Now we'll anchor our shell stitch by skipping 2 more stitches and working a slip stitch into the 3rd stitch from the hook. Remember, all the while we're working into the leftover front loops from our back loop only round. So I'll just continue working shell stitches all around. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, insert my hook into the 3rd stitch from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we'll skip 2 more stitches and anchor our shell stitch by working a slip stitch in the 3rd stitch from the hook. And we're almost done. So I'll just work one more shell stitch. And then for our last stitch, I'll just slip stitch into the first stitch in the round. Now all we have to do is weave in this end, and we'll do that by first cutting our yarn. I'm going to pull the yarn through to finish off, and then we're going to bury the tail just like we've done before. I'm going to insert my hook near where the tail is coming out from. I'll just weave in this end first, then I'll tug it under. And then just cut off the yarn where it comes out. I'll just bury the other tail in the same way. Alright, now I'm going to embroider a little mouth right here. To embroider the mouth, I'm going to use 3 strands of a piece of embroidery floss. So I usually just separate the embroidery floss into 2 different strands of 3 strands each. And then I'll cut a length that's about 1 foot long and thread it onto an embroidery needle. I'm going to tie a quick knot at the end. And now I'm going to embroider a very small V-shaped mouth directly between the 2 eyes. So it's going to look like this, with one leg extending from the middle of the eyes down to this row over here, and the other one coming up over here. I have a whole video all about how to embroider mouths, but I'm going to go over it here now. So I'll insert my embroidery needle to the side of the face, and then I'll come up at the top left corner where I want the mouth to be. You should gently tug your embroidery floss until the knot is buried inside the amigurumi. So now my thread is coming out of the top left of the mouth. So now I'm going to make 1 stitch going down, that I'll create the left leg of the V that will become the mouth. And so the bottom of the V is going to be directly between the 2 eyes. And then I'm going to come out where I want the right leg of the V to extend up to. So now I've got the left leg of the mouth, and then I'll create the right leg. And I'll just go back down to where the bottom of the V should be. And I'll come out somewhere else on the body. Nice! So now I'm going to just gently bury the tail by pushing this end into the amigurumi. And then I'll cut the embroidery thread where it comes out and push this end into the... And just like that, your little ghostie is done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe for more cute tutorials like this one, and let me know down in the comments what other projects you would like me to make.